Hey y'all, hey, what's going on? Let me fix myself up just a little bit. Listen, welcome all the things. Y'all know who I am. You know how I roll on my lives. It is what it is. If my teeth look a little black, I'ma just let y'all know my daughter just turned 19. She had a special birthday cake and the icing was black, and I totally forgot that is going to get on my teeth. So I apologize. If you could just bypass that and don't judge me, judge your mother, like I always say, then we're good to go. But welcome, y'all. Welcome. I hope you guys had an amazing week. I hope you guys are having an amazing end of the summer because it's approaching the end of the summer. Some of us kids are going back to school. Some of our kids are going back to school. You might be going back to school too. I don't know your situation. But either way, I hope you guys are having a good time and you're educating yourself on credit. You're preparing for the holiday because believe me, it's going to be here sooner than you know it. Okay. But anywho, I wanted to talk about this experience that I just had. And I actually get this often. I get this pretty regularly. Honestly, about once a month, maybe. If you see the title, you know what it is. But in this particular situation, something said, let me explain it to y'all. Let me show this to you guys and put it in the forefront and talk about it. So I had a client, and I said had because she is no longer my client. She canceled her services with me, which is all well and good. Her score dropped over 166 points while I was fixing her credit. And I wanted to explain this to you guys because a lot of times I get clients, this happens to them and they want to blame the person fixing their credit, which is me myself. I am that individual. My company Fix My Credit Now 850.com was the one that was fixing her credit. But here's the thing. You guys have to understand what the credit repair process consists of so you understand what's going on and what can happen to your credit score. Now, I'm going to give y'all visuals in just a moment so you can see what I'm talking about and I'll explain why it happened. So, when she started with me, she was in the mid, I don't want to say the high 600s. It was almost in the 700s, but she for the most part was in the mid 600s. That's what her credit score was. And she was with me for 3 months. In that process, her score would go up, down, but it was mostly declining until she recently quit, I think yesterday. Now her score, total, her score dropped 166 points. Now, I want to make it very clear. There's nothing I can do as a credit expert that I'm aware of, or I would try to do to lower someone's credit report, lower their credit score. The only thing I can do is make it better. The only thing anybody can do is make it better. I don't report negative items. I don't contact the credit reporting agencies or do. I'm like, it's hard for me to even fathom how to even go about that process because my job is a fixer of problems. Okay. So a lot of times when clients see the numbers drop, they want to put point blame to everybody but themselves, but in reality it has something to do with what's going on with your account outside of the credit person. So in this situation, this lady had student loans, and I'm going to do a whole other video on this because I don't think you guys are really prepared for what's happening. I think I did do a video on this topic and nobody seems to be moving, which is concerning. Her student loans were in deferment for what, the past 5 years. And now, with the new administration in office, they've taken everybody out of this 5 year slumber and instantly making them 90 days late on their credit report. So, the first 2 months she was with me, you didn't see it. Everything was great, except she had a few collection and charge offs. So, I was working on that. And then the final month, boom, she gets out of deferment and her credit score just plummeted over 166 points. She's blaming that on me. A lot of clients do that where they blame the person fixing their credit without understanding what's going on with their credit. And then she had other reasons why she wanted to be upset, such as she had deadlines, goals, and all of those things. tried to put it on me, and we'll get into that in a second. So, just so you guys know, if you are in deferment with your student loans, you got to call them people before they mark you down late. They're not going to say you're 30 days late, 60 days late. They're instantly going to start you off as your first missed payment is 90 days late. That is going to drastically hurt your credit score. No matter who you are, what you're doing, what's happening, good or bad, if you're getting approved or denied, once that hits your credit report, it's curtains. Okay, so try to get ahead of the 8 ball. I explained that to you guys before. Don't run from the problem, run towards it. Now, if it does happen, then you can actually get it fixed. You have options. But in this situation, she just instantly blamed me. Now, another thing is she had negatives on her credit report that she wasn't acknowledging. Again, multiple clients have that type of situation going. Sometimes your credit as new negative items that are being reported, and that could happen while I'm in the process of fixing your credit. What I used to explain to you guys back in the day was this. I noticed even before the pandemic and all that, I noticed when I was fixing credit, once I was getting deletions, it was almost like the creditors were doing bird calls to each other and saying, hey, this person is fixing their credit. You know what I'm saying? They got some deletions. Who else got some negatives they could add on? Now, mind you, I'm being funny about it, but it's never failed. When you're trying to show progress or you're doing well, it seems like negative accounts just seem to come on. Now, in her situation, these accounts were brand new accounts. So when you sign up with me and you schedule your consultation, I need you to be 100% honest with me. Yes, I can fix your credit. I can get anything removed from a credit report. However, if you know negatives are about to come, meaning you know you're about to get a collection account because you know you haven't paid. So I have a client right now where she was like, I can't afford credit repair and pay this credit card at the same time, except I don't care to pay the credit card because I know you're going to remove it off my credit report. So I'm just going to let it go. It's going to show up. You just remove it. That's something I can prepare for, if that makes sense. If you're just sitting around twiddling your thumbs and I'm saying, oh, yeah, this is what's on your credit report. I got you. This is what I'm disputing. And you know you got some negative items coming. Like she knew her student loan was coming. I didn't know her student loan was going to report negatively. For all I know, she was one of those people that was going to contact the financial aid department and work out a deal. So I was just as surprised as she was. So now her credit report showed 14 new negative accounts. You know what I'm saying? Within 30 days, which was bananas. On top of the fact, she had other negative accounts that were brand new outside of student loans. So, yes, missed payments are detrimental to your credit report, to your credit profile, to your credit score. Detrimental. I don't care what you need to do, but make it so you're not missing any payments. Make a payment arrangement, get something on deferment, whatever you can, because once a missed payment hits on your credit report, your credit score is going to plummet. Now, let's get into what her actual situation looks. Okay, so this is her actual credit situation. Now, mind you, she wasn't with me very long. This isn't really even updated because she clearly got into her feelings and did not allow for the services to continue so I can even update her file. She is due for an update. But anywho, as you can see here on the right, that she had 57 items that were in dispute. Okay. And the remaining accounts that she had left on her credit report, there were 20 left when she was with me. So she started off with 57, remaining negatives were 20. So we were still actively in dispute. The problem is her score plummeted. Now, this isn't showing you guys the numbers. I was trying on my end to make some adjustments as far as her account was concerned. So it wiped away the actual highlights. Usually it'll tell you right here, oh, drop negative points, negative such and such or whatever. So if you just simply do the math right here, her initial score was in the 600s. And then her current score is now in the 500s. Again, she's due for an update, but she's so pissed off at me that she just canceled everything. Now, when I say those things, I'm not feeling any type of way. I'm just proving the facts to you that this is what happens. Now, the problem is a lot of clients get angry because you have goals set in mind. You have a certain time frame where you need to fix your credit. Here's the thing, your goals are not my goals. Okay. When we have a consultation, that's your opportunity to put everything on the table, to ask all of your questions so that I can work on it and try to assist the best way I can for you to reach your goals. But that doesn't necessarily mean you are going to reach your goal. Here's why: we are at the mercy of the credit reporting agencies. We're not at your mercy. We're not at my mercy. We're at their mercy. So I can give you an estimate or some sort of guess on how soon I think things are going to be removed from your credit report. But I can't tell you how much your credit score is going to change to, what the final number is going to be. These are estimates based off of my experience. So I'm going to express that to you. I say the same thing all the time to all my clients, but it's up to you to figure out what your goals are and what timeline you feel is acceptable. Also, if you notice that there's so many drastic changes happening to your credit score and your credit profile, you might have to throw plan A out the window. Some of y'all are coming to me with plan A, like, boom, I already know what I'm doing. I already got this, da da da, and just do this and fix it by 30 days. Because if not, that doesn't help the situation. That doesn't mean anything, like literally anything at all. But if you notice there's new changes, you have to readjust your timeline and say, you know what, thought thought I was good for 90 days and have this together and under wraps, but now with these new negatives and these new missed payments, I'm feeling a little different. So it's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's not anything negative. It just happens. It's a reality. But again, your goals are not my goals. So if we exceed the 90-day minimum, I always tell you guys, give yourself a minimum of 90 days to fix your credit. I'm not saying it's going to be completed and perfect. You'll see deletions very quickly in most cases. Some cases you won't, right? But in most cases, you'll see deletions within the first couple of weeks, within the first 30 days. But give yourself a minimum of 90 days. If that's not good enough for you, there's no need for you to get your credit repaired, at least not by a company, because you're just going to be pissed off. You need somebody to blame. But my goal isn't yours. So you have to also change your expectations and make a few phone calls. That's just called being an adult. That's called being an adult. And I don't know what some of y'all problems are, but some of you guys just aren't adulting. So I want to also share this screen so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to show her personal information, obviously, but this is her credit report. And she was making it seem like the only negative thing on her credit report were her student loans. And as you can see, because I taught y'all well, once y'all see colors, that's it. That's not a good thing. The only color you guys need to really look at as a positive is if it's green or blank. So yeah, she has some green, but look, she got yellow, she has black, she has orange on some of these accounts. So some people just have unrealistic expectations, and I just wanted to share that with you because she's not the only one. Okay, if you take a look at that, yes, there's a lot of positive accounts. I can give it to her. Some of these accounts are not active. As you can see, this is a closed account, which is not good at all, right? Having a positive account that's closed out does not help you as far as your credit profile is concerned. What that does is it shows that it's not calculated. It's a done, completed trade line. Now, this is what her credit report looked like literally last month. Now, I'm going to pause this for just a second so you don't see her personal information. Okay, so now you're looking at her credit report and you can see what it looks like as of the end of July. So again, it's the same negative accounts Remember, I was scrolling through. It was nothing but green, 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 a few yellow. Yeah, this was here last time. Okay, cool. But we were still scrolling. Everything was perfect. Life was great and dandy until we got to here. This is the culprit right here. Now, you might be thinking, well, Samaya, it's August right now, and this says May, right? I understand that. But what happened was the Department of Education, they decided to update their side of the credit report, and they included this 90-day on all of this person's student loans. So let me explain, because you guys are like, what are you talking about? I only applied and got approved for a student loan one time. Why is this showing up so many different times? Because here's the thing with student loans. When you get a student loan and you apply for it, let's say you apply for $80,000, right? So you got 80,000 wow approved for student loans. That's not just coming from one source. So if you pay attention to each account, they all have different numbers. Now, this is an amazing thing because they messed this up. But they all have their own account numbers, as you can see. Now, this is severely wrong. I can totally fix this for her. I could delete this very, very easily because being the great, amazing factual disputer that I am, I see so many problems happening right now. However, she decided to be in her feelings, add her husband or whoever else was on her little email address and just get angry for no reason. But this is actually, in my opinion, a simple fix. It's a very, very simple fix. But it was something that stood in the way of her goals. So she needed to blame somebody. Okay. But if this is happening to you guys, you can do something about it. I'm going to repeat this before I let y'all go because this was not supposed to be a long behind video or anything. This is what you have to do. First and first, mostly understand what credit repair actually means. It doesn't just mean your score. It means your credit profile and your credit score. They work hand in hand. You can have a high credit score and a crappy credit profile and get denied for loans. You can have an amazing credit profile with a low credit score and get denied because overall you are not credit worthy, right? So you have to work on them together. Once you understand that, that's great. Also understand that when you're getting deletions on your credit report, even if your score is going down, that's a very, very good thing. It's very easy to increase a credit score, super easy, but it's more difficult to remove the negative items than it is to just throw on a trade line and skyrocket your credit score up to the 700-800s. That's no big deal. Okay. So if I'm fixing your credit and you hire me to fix your credit, I'm getting the deletions, but your score is plummeting. That just means you don't have enough positive credit on your credit report. And that's okay. I told you guys credit reports and credit scores are based off of averages. So if you have more negative than positive, once you get the deletions, your score is just going to keep dropping. Okay. Now, if you have a bunch of positive and a few few negatives, then when I remove the negatives, your score naturally elevates. That's just the way it is. In this situation, she has a lot of positives, but they instantly turn a brand new, fresh missed payments, which is so detrimental to your score. And it was spread out through I think those were 12 accounts we were looking at. So when I actually updated her credit report, it showed that she had 14 new negatives. Are they technically 14 new negatives? Yeah, because the student financial aid department just now decided, one, they're going to report it, two, they're going to report it 90 days late, back to back, and three, they decided to put it on all portions of the loan. So yes, she may have only applied for a student loan and got approved for one lump sum, but because it came from different entities, it has different account numbers. So all 14 accounts are now officially 90 days late. That's going to kill anybody's credit. Now, you also have to recognize, listen, I need to fix my credit because I'm trying to accomplish such and such goal. Like, what goal is that? How much time do you need? Okay. When you have a consultation with me, I ask you these questions. It's not like I'm trying to be funny or anything. Or trying to be all up in your business. I need to know, What are you trying to fix your credit for? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you trying to buy a car? Do you just want to get good credit? Because what that does for me is it gives me an idea of how much time you have. Now, if you're like, listen to my, I only got 60, 90 days. I have another client down Georgia, same situation. She needs her son's credit fixed ASAP or by the end of September. I say the same thing over and over to you guys. I think you guys are choosing to hear what you want to hear because of what goals and expectations that you have for yourself. Doesn't work that way. But I'm going to keep repeating myself though. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to repeat myself so you can't say, oh, you said blah, blah, blah. My calls are recorded. My conversations are recorded. I say the same thing over and over again all the time. And that's the thing. The funny thing is when she was emailing me, she was like, our goals this, and you said this, and these aren't my goals. You know what I'm saying? Those are your goals, not mine. So just have realistically set goals. And also, if you notice that negative accounts are either about to happen or already occurred on your credit report, give me a heads up. Even if you know what they are, like just give me a heads up, like, hey, Tamaya, something's about to come, or hey, something came already. This is what it is, and this is what I'm doing about it behind the scenes. Anything you want me to do, we are a team. Like, let's work together, especially if you're in a rush. Now, if you are not in a rush, and you're just trying to have good credit, it is what it is. More people that sign up with me with that type of mindset, they're so easy to educate. They get it. They're like, no, I get it. It's all good, which is great. But for the most part, everybody has these unrealistic expectations. So I just want to tell you guys, listen, it is not always the credit expert's fault. All right. Because I get clients from, I'm sorry, my teeth are so messed up. I'll brush them for the next video. You know what I'm saying? My bad. You know what I'm saying? My kids like dark colors and dark. She wanted a dark creative cake. So it was black and red. I should share a picture with y'all so you can see. You'd be like, oh, that's why her teeth are matching her shirt. It's all good, yo. But yeah, so I forgot where I left off. But I'm just saying, you guys, let's just work together as a team. Schedule a consultation and be realistic with your goals. Okay. Not all credit experts don't know what they're doing. A lot of times you guys are just not educated. You're big mad and you got to blame somebody and you got to come after us. But that's why when I get clients from other credit experts and they start talking trash, I can't confirm or deny what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. And you could be just big mad. Like, that's not them, that's you. Okay. But anyway, like I said, I'm on here longer than expected. But yes, it's all good. This is a horrible situation. Wherever the I guess down here, wherever the title is, this is very bad. However, it's realistic and it's an easy fix, believe it or not. It's dumb, crazy easy. Okay. So don't just give up. Don't just be mad, swinging the air like Dre off of Boys in the Hood. Just chill, regular, relax. Let's talk about it. I'll explain it. The problem and the point of concern would be if you got it and then you call me and I ain't got no answers. I'm saying, I don't know what happened. I don't know. You can't. That's when you know you got a crappy credit expert. But I'm not one of them. I just need to look at it, analyze it, and figure things out, and then give you a solution. Most people get pissed if you don't have a solution. But sometimes you got to change your solutions to go with the times. It is what it is. We're at the mercy of the credit reporting agencies. But I got you. Okay. In the meantime, you guys, hopefully this was helpful. I wish you the best of luck on your credit journey. I will talk to y'all